Anybody that is not even blind, somebody that is even blind could see Watson, and they are aligned to to Kamala and there again. Where is he getting funding from to change these set of rules and things that he changing in Tobago? So many governments came and went and persons, and we didn't get self-governance. It is not a fly-by-night process. You're saying one time you're not joining with anybody, but now you're saying you're willing to join with anybody who is wishing to bring self-governance to Tobago. Who are you fooling?
Caller, as you said that, I want to remind the listenership in Tobago, and I want you to remember too. In 2010 to 2015, when they came to Tobago, they hurriedly went to Parliament for self-governance. You remember that?
Yes.
They hurriedly did it, and when the manner in which they wanted to do it,
was very abhorrent.
That's right. They drop it. They never ever talk about it or bring it back again. And today, you said to the people of Tobago, where we were getting Sanders, and listen,
and he said that when he gets into power, Sanders will
come back. He will bring them back.
You understand? So Sharon, I am not blind. I'm not stupid. I saw what I have. I do not know I am going to be getting. So I am ready. I am there with Miss Alana Webster Roy for 15 more years by the grace of God. That morning, love always. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And, let me say this. I want Tobagonians to be very careful. Because if Watson Duke wants to run Tobago like how we run the PSA, Lord help us. And if PSA members and persons working in the office of the PSA with Mr. Watson Duke want to be fair and truthful to this country, they will talk the truth and tell you. Do you want a man when he get upset today, tomorrow, and he feel like it, he take the whole treasure and he gone? You know which part it gone? No accountability? So because you're running and fixing a roof here, there, and everywhere, I could fix 10 roofs. But at the end of the day, we want sustainable leadership. Let me tell you something. I am proud to sit here and say I'm proud of Ayanna Webster Roy. Proud. Ayanna Webster Roy brought leadership to your communities that no other MP, they're now starting to follow in her pattern. Tobago, Shamfa Kojo, Tobago are telling all, don't make the mistake, and do like the dog and the bone, Because I'm telling all you, a man on a charge, a man is before the court. Today or tomorrow he's convicted. Where is your leadership? Where your leader gone? I know when he come on, he go chastise me. I don't care. But I had to talk the truth. And he's not my enemy. We talk good, but the truth must be told. The truth must be told. So if you all want to sit down there and take that, Caller, are you calling from Tobago? You have 1 minute. Caller?
Yes.
You have 1 minute. You have 50 seconds because we go in to the ads and then we go into the news and then you all cutting off. So give me quick. I'm listening.
Okay. I just want to endorse that what Mr. Archer and the other two callers are saying.
Where you calling from?
Tobago. I call him from Charlottesville, Tobago.
You know something, caller? More and more thinking. I need to come to Tobago and do a program out in the open and hear people's view. And I'm going to look for a sponsor for that.
Okay, nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right.
Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to the ads. When we come back, we have to go to the news. So don't shift your dial.
Streets because we talk to the street.
Come talk with us on the Street 919 FM.
Get interactive interactive with the Street 919 FM.
All day, every day. See us all live on our Facebook page.
Share and comment on our show.
Like our page.
Chat with our live on-air announcers.
The Street 919's Facebook page.
Live and interactive all day, every day. The Street 919 FM.
Come talk with us.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price.
Street 91.9 FM. More music, more vibes. More vibes.
91.9, the real station, real people, real FM.
Sitting in your church on Sunday, thinking who you're gonna screw Monday, who you're gonna thief, who you're gonna rob. Take it as me till you say you can't fool God too. Every day you ball out, Jaja. Call yourself a dreadlocks Rasta. Terrorize the people on your lane, cause I saw you get wicked when you lick the code. By his deeds shall a man be known. Wanna ask you for a piece of bread, you give him stone. By his deeds shall a man be known. Natty up your head and worship Babylon throne. By his deeds shall a man be known. Straighten up your liberty and don't bow down. By his deeds shall a man be known. Mr. Money Man with your big money plan. Tell me where you get your first money from. How you plant your field, how you make your deal, then compare your picnic, them fit don't smoke weed. Left your air condition office and gone a bar. Impress a little easy girl with your pretty car. When you're done, she says she have to get paid. What a fret you are go fret when you hear she have. By his deeds shall a man be known. Wanna ask you for a piece of bread, you give him stone. By his deeds shall a man be known. Natty up your head and worship Babylon throne. By his deeds shall a man be known. Straighten up your liberty and don't bow down. By his deeds shall a man be known. When I thought about the God I serve and all I'm going through, as the memories rush down through my mind, it brought tears down to my pillows. which I try to teach the word of God. My Bible is my only shield, and the music is my rod. I pray mankind would hear my voice and listen when I call. But all they do is carry on like they don't care at all. When man was made to serve God, and together live forever. Man was made to serve God, and together live forever. I remember the times when we used to sit in the park, holding hands together. I never should have gone away and left you like I did, girl. I thought you'd take me back, but I was just a little bit late. I was born a winner. I know I am. Yes, I am. Oh, yeah. I was born a winner. My lonely days and my lonely nights, girl. On the outside looking in, dreaming of holding you tight. Well, I guess I've had my day. You let me go my way. It's me who has to pay. A loser they call me, but now I'm a winner. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I was born a winner. I know I am. Yes, I am. Oh, yeah. I was born a winner. I know you're trying to be a big girl and keep the tears from your eyes. No, baby. Oh, it's gonna be a little hard to lift your head up high. No. Now, little girl, you're gonna need a man. A man who will understand. Oh, darling, 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 darling. Please consider me. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I know all your friends have left you all alone. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, and all the good times you had with him are gone. No. So you gotta have a man who will understand. Oh, darling, 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 please consider me. Yeah. Ooh. Baby, you know I felt this way before. Yeah, I did. Many times before. Yeah. Ooh. Now, little girl, you need yourself a man. A man who will understand. Oh, darling, 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 please consider me.
91.9 FM. Streets 91.9 FM.
PNM, you know it was a lie. What you did to me was a sin. Just like that, you deceived me. And now, I cry because you have failed me. How dare you look for me after you betrayed me? Now, I have to walk away. I found the way to forget you.
Another one. PDP, you're the best. People before politics. Yeah.
Tell me why, oh why PNM makes you cry every night. I don't know why, oh why. I think you're too loyal.
Under the PNM whip, I still hear them say, them is die hard PNM till a day. Is this the same PNM we give we hell? We make we go down on we knees and beg. Everything them ask for Tobago, we give them PNM, THA and central government. But yet still, we can't catch ourselves. Sea bridge, air bridge, agriculture debt. Taxpayers wanna know where 40 billion went. How much gone in the pocket of PNM friends? Cause all we see, the chief with a new BM, few bucks Jane and a little pavement.
Tell me why, oh why. Do you ride? Do you stick by the side? PNM makes you cry every night. People, I see the pain in your eyes and don't know why. Oh, why? You stay. Oh. You stay. Tell me why you. I think you're too loyal. I think you do too much. PNM does nothing for you, girl. They're not real. That ain't the way love's supposed to be. PNM is not the one for you. What's in you, PDP will show you.
PDP are the best. God never get to beg more than we can take. Great exodus from this PNM wilderness. What's the lighter with the hammer? Crumble the PNM empire. PDP, the long-awaited savior. The mandate from the people will deliver. Page in Webster, page in Champa. This is the end of your tenure.
Tell me why, oh why. PNM makes you cry every night. You stay. I don't know why, oh why. You stay. I think you're too loyal.
Just now wait. PDP, within a few years, look how much we cover. PNM 63, yet Tobago suffer. Tobago age is just a number. Tobago vote them out of power. PDP swim the whole ocean fire. Just to make a statement that you deserve better.
I found the way to forget you.
Tobago don't cry no more. PDP will take care of you. Tobago don't cry no more. PDP will take care of you. Yeah.
919 FM, the number one station in Tobago. J Angel, fully endorsed.
Whoa, what love is the anthem?
Let's see your hand them.
Good morning. This is Tasha Grace Boris, PDP candidate for Tobago West. We are here on a slightly rainy Tuesday morning at the Street 91.9 FM in Crown Point. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to the listeners in both Trinidad and Tobago and the wider region and the wider world. Good morning to all those who have tuned into my live. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It is Talk the Things Tuesdays. I am going to be talking the things. There are so many things for us to be talking about at this time. There are so many things taking place in the atmosphere. I want to thank all of you who tuned in yesterday. I had an amazing time for my first time on radio, so I'm just overwhelmed at the responses that I received. And thank you for tuning in this morning again, so you can share my live, you can share the Street 91.9 FM's live, you can tune in on YouTube, tune in on Facebook, call your friends, wake up your family, everybody puts on your radio. Those of you who are on your way to work, I pray that you have traveling mercies, that you be safe. Those of you who have decided to take a day from work today, I hope you enjoy your time off. This is Talk the Things Tuesdays. My name is Tasha Grace Boris, PDP candidate for Tobago West. Plenty things to talk about. First of all, I'll give you guys the WhatsApp number 734-6355. Tell me good morning. Tell me how your day was yesterday. Tell me what are your plans for today. 734-6355. When we're ready to take some calls, when we're ready to talk the things, as I say, it's 717-9591. That number again is 717-9591. So yesterday was my first official walkabout in the area of Crown Point. And I just want to say thank you for all the persons who welcomed myself and our team into your homes, into your yards, into your business places to just talk the things. You know, it's very important for us to get from the people on the ground what is taking place with them, what is happening with you, what are your thoughts. The things that we have been told are that people have been lacking representation, and they've been lacking representation for a long time. They are saying to us that they have not seen their representatives, that they saw them for the last election, and then some of them have never seen them in the flesh again, and they said that they're waiting for them to turn up for this election, asking for their support and asking for their vote. You know, I was on my way to the station this morning listening to the sister program in Trinidad, and you know, the comments and some of it is so, what to say. Let me talk the things, Let's talk about representation this morning. So text me, please. Send me a WhatsApp, 734-6355. Tell me what representation means to you. What do you expect from your elected representatives, whether they be members of parliament or whether they be members of the Tobago House of Assembly? What do you expect a representative is supposed to do? Because I think people have different ideas as to what a representative is supposed to do and what are their role and functions, you know, and what is the expectations that people have when they elect persons to office. So please send me a text. Let me know what is happening. You can send me a good morning. I'll see all your messages. That number again is 734-6355. We are on this morning. My name is Tasha Grace Boris, PDP candidate for Tobago West. Next week, I'll be joined by my counterpart, PDP candidate for Tobago East, Mr. Watson Duke. I know he's tuned in. Good morning, Mr. Duke. I'd like to say a special good morning to the leadership of the party, deputy political leaders, Dr. Faith B. Israel, Alicia Patterson Roberts, and Mr. Farley Augustine, who joined me on the road yesterday. Thank you so much for leaving Speyside and coming and have the people of Crown Point and environs meet you, shake your hand. According to the old people, press flesh. We had an awesome time yesterday. We actually started a little late because of the rain, and we went well into the night. We will be back out on the streets of Crown Point again this afternoon. It's very important that at this time we touch base with the people in our communities. They want to see us. They want to hear from us, and I want to hear from you. The number again to text, the WhatsApp number is 734-6355. And when I'm ready to take some calls, that number is 717-9355. Special good morning to Marlon Austin. How are you? Giselle George, Shoma Woods. How are things in Brooklyn? I am having early mornings these mornings and very, very, very late nights. So this is Talk the Things Tuesday. We want to hear from you. What is representation? I'm joined in the studio by my counterpart, Sean McCoon. He has been like my left hand. I have a right hand and I have a left hand, and Sean is like my left hand. And he has been doing an awesome job on my campaign with me, you know, so he's going to be here engaging in conversation with me. So let's talk about representation. Sean, good morning. Could you tell our listening public good morning and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me, Tashia. Well, I am basically I am an environmental activist here in Tobago. I work along with Environment Tobago, which is an environmental advocacy agency. We are a non-government organization that is focused on advocacy, awareness, and public education as it relates to the environment. As for politics, I think in the year 2010, I was involved with a particular political entity in Trinidad, and when they chose to go a particular way, I ended my relationship very much in a candid, animated way. And since then, I have kept out of actively participating in politics since then. When I returned from the United Kingdom, I came to Tobago, I returned to Tobago, and I thought to myself, now is the time. Now is the time for me to get involved again. Now is the time for young people, such as our candidate for Tobago West, Mr. Shia. We have people like Farley Augustine, Dr. Faith B. Israel, and they basically inspired me to get involved again, to use my expertise, to use my voice, to speak out against the victimization that has existed, to speak out against the lack of representation that has existed in Tobago space.
Yes.
And since then, it has been quite a challenge. It has been quite a ride.
Yes.
We have ups and downs. We just getting things together for a campaign, and when the Prime Minister announced that the election date was August 10th, we basically had to go in overdrive.
Right.
And since then, I can safely say that we have our work cut out, but we are up to the task.
Yes, I do believe that.
Kashia is up to the task, and the party is up to the task. And we are appealing to the Tobago population, give us this chance to represent you. Give us a chance to represent you.
Great. Thank you very much, Sean. I mean, this morning, as I said, I was on my way to the station, and I was listening to this sister station in Trinidad. They had a call-in segment, you know, and the comments about, the PDP going in there to align with the UNC. It's almost like an automatic thing. You know, and even in my interaction yesterday, I met a gentleman who told me that he was a UNC, and he wants us to win because he wants us to align with the UNC. And in my mind, I'm like, why is it that people automatically think that anybody who is opposed to the PNM in Tobago is automatically going to align themselves to who is opposition in Trinidad? Can't it be that this time is different? Can't it be that this time we recognize, because the PDP recognizes that we have not progressed under the PNM. PDP recognizes that we have not progressed with our relationship with the UNC. And history is there to show. So is it that we can't do better for ourselves, Tobago? Is it that we think that we don't deserve better? Is it that people who live here and people who are on the outside think that it's not possible for us to do differently this time around? And that is why I want to find out from people, what are their ideas in terms of what do they expect from representatives? Because let me break down the reality to you. There are two major political parties in Trinidad. Those major political parties are the PNM and the UNC. And there are others who are fielding candidates in this general election, like the PEP, like the Progressive Party with Nikolai Edwards, and whoever else jumps up in the mix on nomination day. Because on nomination day, anybody can that's your constitutional democratic right. Anybody can decide, you know what, I'm going to contest under a party banner, I'm going to contest as an independent. So on nomination day, that is the only day we will be clear as to who will be the persons vying to be representatives in the constituencies. Fine. The two major parties for the last couple of years have been PNM and UNC. And the natural expectation is one out of those two entities is going to win the general election. One of those two entities is going to get the majority of seats in Trinidad. The reality is there are only 2 seats in Tobago. There are 39 seats in Trinidad. A party could win 25 down there. They will win the government without the 2 Tobago seats. Somebody could get 30 seats down there. They will win the government without the 2 Tobago seats. Regardless of who wins the general election, the PDP as an entity that is a Tobago-led, Tobago-based party will have no choice but to work with anybody who forms the government, because that's where the majority of the seats are. That is where, I mean, when you're talking about 3/5 majority, anything that is needed to pass a law or to change the constitution, the PDP has to be in a position to work with anybody in the best interest of Tobago. And that is what is meant. It doesn't mean that we're going to choose one over the other. It doesn't mean that we have already aligned ourselves with one over the other to create government. We don't know what will happen election day. We don't know. Trinidad is a different organ. Trinidad is a different environment. Trinidad is a different kettle of fish. They know why and how they plan to vote on the other side. We can sell ourselves here to the best of our ability, but at the end of the day, when the chips fall, the PDP now has to look at who makes up what is the composition of the 39 seats in Trinidad, and we now have to decide, okay, what are we going to do to be able to get the best possible outcome for Tobago? And I want Tobago people to understand that this is really not a party thing. They are selling this as if it's one over the other. This is a Tobago thing. Anybody who goes to Parliament in Trinidad and represents Tobago East and Tobago West has to ensure that their voice is not subsumed within the larger operation of Parliament, whether it be subsumed within a government side or subsumed within an opposition side. I heard a caller call in and talk about, oh, we didn't get autonomy under Robinson in 76, and we didn't get autonomy under the Robinson-led government in 86 to 91. We didn't get autonomy in the UNC and AR coalition in 1995. We didn't get autonomy in full autonomy when the Act was changed in 1996. We didn't get full autonomy when it was the UNC TOP amalgamation partnership government in 2010. What makes us think we can get autonomy in 2020? So you mean to tell me because we failed all those times, because they're talking as if it's a failure, but we went from a space where we had nothing to starting something, to improving on the something, to improving a little bit more. So we were making progress. I don't see that as a failure. I don't see making progress as a failure. And I look at this as a relay race. The baton has to be passed. And it's time that the baton is passed for the final leg, which is to bring home the last 2 things that are outstanding, which is our lawmaking abilities and our executive authorities. But there are people out there who believe that we should not even try. That apparently we should be content with what we have, that we should just roll over and give up the fight because Tobago should be PNM country or this one or whomever, that Tobago is up for grabs. That Tobago should just allow ourselves to be dictated to. And I ask myself, what is so important about Tobago that people want to keep Tobago in this state of subservience. Tobago has been the most fought over island in the Caribbean in the history. Right? And if back then, however many years ago, they saw something in Tobago that made them fight. Countries were fighting over Tobago. English, Spain, France, all of these persons fought over Tobago. Then in 2020, are you telling me that the people who live here don't understand how valuable Tobago is to the Union of Trinidad and Tobago? And we are happy with people who are happy with going to a central government, with going to a parliament in Trinidad and allowing them to silence our voices. That they will bribe our 2 representatives with cabinet positions. And then after that, the business of Tobago is left up to whomever decides to fix it, whenever they decide to fix it. How is that fair?
And they have been largely effective.
Right.
Largely so.
We have not had any representation. And I mean, again, I'm talking in my position as a constituent. I look at the news. I look at Parliament Channel religiously. And I was religiously looking at Parliament Channel and looking at the schedule to see when they would bring this autonomy bill to Parliament. Because I wanted to hear what the other 39 parliamentarians in Trinidad had to say about Tobago wanting to reach its higher self and wanting to become self-actualized and wanting to position themselves to be able to compete on a global stage. I wanted to hear who was opposed to that idea and why they were opposed to that idea. And Tobagonians weren't even given the opportunity. The bill never even reached Parliament. Right? Mr. Moses Thomas, you asked me this question. How do you plan on making your voice heard in a parliamentary system that only gives you a voice when you are either a part of government or opposition? Mr. Thomas, good morning, and thank you for tuning into my live. What I can tell you is this. Was Mr. Robinson and Dr. Murray part of either opposition or government in 1976 when they brought that first bill for self-autonomy for Tobago? Were they part of any side? From my recollection, and I stand to be corrected on anything that I say here, my recollection says that no, they stood as 2 independent members of parliament, and someone was able to raise a motion and the other person was able to second the motion, and because of that the parliament had to hear what they had to say. And it has happened in recent times when Jack Warner split from the UNC and became an independent in Parliament. When he formed the ILP, he was able as an independent member of the Parliament to speak on any issue. You are stronger when you are by yourself. Because if you are on the government side, you have to apply to the leader of government business to speak. And if they don't want you to speak, you shall not speak. And if you're on the opposition side, the opposition chief whip, that's the person you have to talk to. And if that person doesn't want you to speak, you say nothing. But when you are standing in the parliament as an independent voice, you have the opportunity to speak on any issue that is brought forward. That is how you have your voice. That is how we plan to use our voice. Because Tobago's voice for far too long has been silenced in Parliament. Let's call a spade a spade. One side over the other can argue that, we got certain things under the PNM when it was PNM Tobago and PNM in Trinidad. And then another side would argue that we got certain things when it was the UNC in government and PNM in Tobago. We would argue all morning about who gave what, right? But the reality of the situation is that every election, they come to the Tobago people. They promise to settle this autonomy issue. They do. They have 5 years. The people of Tobago don't rush anybody. We're not burning tires in the street and protesting. We're not doing that. You say that you're going to do that. You get elected. We wait. We wait just like everybody else. And we hope. We have been hoping. We give you the opportunity to do the thing that you say that you want to do. Right? And then you don't do it. And when you don't do it, you don't even give us proper excuse as to why you don't do it. And it's time for the mama guy talk to done, you know. Honestly, it's time for the mama guy talk to done. Because the business of Tobago has to come center stage. This is 2020. The rest of the world is running away from us. The rest of the world is developing at a rate that we can't. Imagine in 2020, we're still talking about access to Wi-Fi and devices for students, for children to be able to do online classes because of what happened with the COVID. That's what we're still talking about in 2020. I have a bachelor's degree in computing and information systems, and I got that bachelor's degree when Facebook didn't even exist. I probably have to go back to school and get a couple refreshers, because at the end of the day, I mean, the degree is not worth much because technology has evolved so rapidly, right? That's the reality, that if you're not constantly retooling and reskilling yourself, if you're not constantly learning, that you would be left behind, right? And this is the reason why we are advocating for Tobagonians to choose differently this time. We have seen what has happened with PNM in Tobago and PNM in Trinidad. And we're not saying that our current representatives didn't have the opportunity. They did, because they were in cabinet. They had the opportunity. They were right in the belly of the beast. They could have done something. And in the absence of them, any of them saying that they did advocate hard for, tried to convince the Prime Minister to bring this bill to Parliament so that at least it could look as if we were putting the business of Tobago center stage. At least if he brought the bill to Parliament, he can say, yes, I fulfilled the promise that I made. I brought the bill to Parliament. And when I brought the bill to Parliament, they shoot it down. If that happened, then I have no problem. I have no problem. Yes, if you had made the attempt and you failed, I would have had no problem, because in my mind I would have said, at least he did what he said he was going to do. Two things they campaigned on heavily: that Tobago Autonomy Bill and campaign finance reform. We are now in a new election season, right? And people are asking where we getting we money from, but we now jump up in the dance. All your day long time, bring all your receipts, we'll bring ours. Let all that we bring receipts to the table. Yeah? So, guys, we'll go to a break now, and I'll be back. Sean and I would be continuing the discussion off air for a little bit, right? So we'll be back shortly. We're taking a break.
Was a sin. Just like that you deceived me. And now I cry because you have failed me. How dare you look for me after you betrayed me? Now I have to walk away. I found the way to forget you.
Another one.
PDP,
you're the best. People before politics. Yeah.
Tell me why, oh why PNM makes you cry every night. I don't know why, oh why. I think you're too loyal.
Under the PNM whip, I still hear them say, them is die hard PNM till a death. Is this the same PNM we give we hell? We make we go down on we knees and beg. Everything them ask for Tobago, we give them PNM, THA and central government. But yet still, we can't catch ourselves. Sea bridge, air bridge, agriculture debt. Taxpayers wanna know where 40 billion went. How much gone in the pocket of PNM friends? Cause all we see, the chief with a new BM. Few bucks, Jane and a little pavement.
Tell me why, oh inside, BNM makes you cry every night. People, I see the pain in your eyes and don't know why. Oh, why? You stay. Oh. You stay. Tell me why you. I think you're too loyal. I think you do too much. BNM does nothing for you, girl. They're not real. That ain't the way love's supposed to be. BNM is not the one for you. What's in you, BDP will show you.
BDP are the best. God never get to beg more than we can take. Great exodus from this BNM wilderness. What's the night with the hammer? Crumble the BNM empire. BDP, the long-awaited savior. The mandate from the people will deliver. Page in Webster, page in Champa. This is the end of your tenure.
Tell me why, oh why? BNM makes you cry every night. You stay. I don't know why, oh why? You stay. Oh. I think you're too loyal.
Just now wait. PDP, within a few years, look how much we cover. BNM 63, yet Tobago suffer. Tobago age is just a number. Tobago vote them out of power. PDP swim the whole ocean fire. Just to make a statement that you deserve better.
I found the way to forget you.
Tobago don't cry no more. PDP will take care of you. Tobago don't cry no more. PDP will take care of you. Yeah. Whoa, one love is the anthem.
Let's see your hand them.
919 FM Tobago. This is a public service announcement. 91.9 FM now.
I keep climbing higher.
We going down the road, hands in the air. People everywhere, love and unity is there. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air. And represent. Just one love. And represent. Just one love. Let's see your hand them. Let's see your hand them.
And we are back. So things are what's the word? Heating up in my mind and heating up in the minds of people, because I'm seeing the comments coming fast and furious on my live. Just for those of you who want to send me a text message, that number is 734-6355. We shall be taking some calls just now. That number is 717-9591. So once again, if you want to send me a message on air, that WhatsApp line is 734-6355. So I'm seeing the comments coming in on my live, and there are persons on both sides of the fence. And certainly I have no issue with respecting people's opinions. This is a democracy at the end of the day. People have choice, but so far in my own personal experience, and let me just put this out there, guys, we could keep this classy. I don't want to live in a Tobago where we are divided by politics, so we could keep this classy, right? I am not in the business of demonizing anybody for their political choice. But don't demonize me, right?
Respect is very important.
I think that we getting carried away with this politics thing, and people want to get personal with people. People want to all kind of thing thrown in the atmosphere. I not in the business of that. Let me talk about issues. If we talk about issues and we disagree, we can agree to disagree respectfully. Blessings, God's grace to you, everything. But let's keep it classy. Right? There's no need for some of the attacks that I've seen. There's no need for some of the language that I'm seeing being used. At the end of the day, when the election is over, we all have to live here. I'm not going anywhere. And I still want to know that the persons that I respected before going into this process are people that I can still respect after this process is over. And some of you are getting very close, in my personal view, to the point where I can no longer call you somebody that I can respect. And that will be a sad day for me. Because I see good people on both sides of the fence. I see good older people. I see good young people. And let's not get carried away. The battle here is not between the two sides. The battle here is for Tobago. The fight, we should never lose sight of what the fight is. The fight is for a Tobago where our children can grow and flourish and thrive. The fight here is for Tobago where businessmen can have successful businesses. The fight here is for Tobago where visitors could come and have a great time and recommend the destination to others and bring their friends and their family back. The fight here is for Tobago where Tobago people could fix their business in Tobago, where we don't have to wait on somebody in Trinidad to fix our business for us. That is where the fight is. So let we stay on topic, right? Let me stay on topic. Yes, I know that in the heat of the election, because people say all is fear in love and war in elections, I suppose, right? But at the end of the day, let me save that fight for what is important, which is the business of Tobago. And I want people to be honest, right? I want people to be honest with themselves. Are we really truly getting the representation that we deserve? Right? I want people to talk to me. Are we getting the representation that we deserve? Year in, year out. Election cycle in, election cycle out. Tobago is almost like if we have to genuflect at a throne in Trinidad to get what we're supposed to get. Imagine that we have a hospital and the average wait time is something between 5 and 10 and 15 hours depending on what is going on with you. Look at the size of the population in Tobago. I have been walking around some of these communities. Look at the state of the roads in Tobago. How hard it is for us to set up a schedule to have our roads paved. We have 12 constituencies in Tobago. None of these constituencies is as large as Arima or Point Fortin or San Fernando or any one of these places. So you mean to tell me we can't pave the roads in 3 constituencies every year, and in 4 years, all 12 are finished, and then in year 5, we start over with who was paved in year 1, so that we could always have good roads in Tobago? Barring something happens and you have to dig up the road between maintenance time, and we have to ensure that it gets fixed properly. Simple things. Simple things we can't do for ourselves. Simple things that we have to request permission to do for ourselves. And is that the best we can offer? Is that the best that we can give our children? Is that the best that we want for ourselves? So is it that our standards are so low, so very low, that we will accept the bare minimum every single year? Just the bare minimum. You need $10 to live, I'll give you $10. No money to save. No money to build yourself. No money to invest. No money to nothing. And we talk about development. They come to you with all the nice fancy words. Tobago, I love you. They put up a sign, I love Tobago. But people can't eat. People still waiting on food cards. People still waiting on social grants. But we love Tobago, eh? We really love Tobago. So for those of you who want to send me a text message, the number again is 734-6355. I have to get used to this because I'm peeping at a sign next to me. 734-6355. You can send me a message. I'll read it on air. And for those of you who want to call in, we will be taking some calls. I mean, you could call in right now and we'll take the call on air. That number is 717-9591. But you know, the Tobago gets me so emotional because I love my island. I love my island. I possess a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. If I really wanted to leave, I would have been gone. But I believe that this is the island of my birth. This is where my family comes from. This is where I grew up. This is where my roots are. And if I'm not comfortable with home, if I'm not comfortable with the place that I call home, then it's my job to fix it. It's my job to join with the people who are able to help me to fix it. Because it makes no sense me leaving and going and build somebody else's country. It makes no sense for me to use the time, the skills and the talents that I have and contribute to building a place that is not my home. That is why I'm still here. That is why I entered politics. For the simple reason that I think that I can do a better job. I am applying for a job. People of Tobago, we are applying for a job. Mr. Duke and I are applying for a job. And you know what is the job? To represent Tobago to our best possible ability. To ensure that Tobago gets the best. And nothing less. Mr. Duke is a negotiator. At the end of the day, that is what he does for a living. And I am a people's advocate. That is what I've done my entire life. So Mr. Duke will bring the fire and I will bring the flame. Because we have to get to a point. We have to get to the point where we, ourselves, we have to decide what we are worth. And then we have to demand it. Nothing is wrong with asking for what you are worth. So I see that we are getting a call on the line. I'm so excited. Good morning, caller. You are live. Hello, good morning. Wonder if the caller is hearing me. Caller, are you hearing me? Because caller, I'm not hearing you. Okay, so we lost our caller. So something is slightly wrong. We will fix that. Yeah? But in the meantime, as I said, Mr. Duke and I are applying for a job. And the only reason we are applying for a job is that there currently exist 2 vacancies. Parliament has been dissolved. So there are 2 vacancies that exist. There's a vacancy in Tobago West and there's a vacancy in Tobago East. And applications have been opened to fill those 2 vacancies. And we, myself, Mr. Duke, we are putting in our applications. Yeah? And that's simply it. We are at the point where Tobagonians have to decide who are the best possible persons that you can hire to get the job done. And what is that job? At the end of the day, that job is representing Tobago people. That job is bringing home autonomy for Tobago people. That job is setting up the systems that are required for Tobago to become a first world island state. That's the job. Scrutinize the qualifications. I will send my resume, I will send my bio from Charlottesville to Crown Point. Look at that. Look at my track record in service. Look at Mr. Duke's track record in service. And then make a decision. And make the best choice. Because at the end of the day, you want to be assured that the person that you hire for the job can and will get the job done. So I see Sean indicating to me. He's just shown me the
Honorable Prime Minister.
The headline for
I
Newsday.
am reading from the Newsday front page this morning. Rowley warns, if Duke elected, I won't forgive Tobago. Now, personally speaking, I take that as a threat. That does not rest well in my soul. It does not rest well in many ways. You know, it's interesting that this is a democratic society.
Yes.
The last time I checked. So who is Dr. Rowley to get on the media and say, I won't forgive Tobago? Tobago has the freedom of choice. And if
everybody
they so desire and so wish to do so and elect yourself and Mr. Duke, then that is Tobago's business. And the fact that he himself is from Tobago and he is the Prime Minister, how could you make such a statement?
Well, then I would counter that statement by simply saying that I will not forgive Dr. Rowley for not fulfilling his promise.
Correct.
He made a promise to carry the autonomy bill to the parliament.
Right.
Right? He campaigned on that. He said that Tobago deserves equality of status. And in my mind, that means 2 equals 39.
That's right.
And he failed. And he should be asking for the forgiveness of Tobago people for failing.
The question is if the people of Tobago would forgive him for not delivering.
Exactly. Because if you are making a promise, you are the one, you are in the seat. The same persons who are saying, oh, we didn't get autonomy under this one and that one and whatever. There's a PNM-THA sitting there now. There was a PNM government over there for the 5 years. And there was a Tobagonian Prime Minister. And you couldn't get it done? Wow. And Tobago people somehow have to just forget about that. Right? Because you'll come to us. You know, they'll come to us. They'll come to us and you know, dance and they wouldn't even apologize for selling us dreams. It's like all Tobago could get his dreams being sold to us. And we can't get our dreams fulfilled. Tobagonians have to keep wishing on a star. Oh, we wish for this autonomy, and we wish for this, and we wish for that, and nothing going, nothing at all. And some people seem to be very content with that. I don't have a problem with that, you know. I don't have a problem with people who are content with exactly what they are receiving. That is your prerogative. That is your option. That is your choice. Nothing is wrong with that. But don't be upset with people who want more. Don't be upset with people who think they deserve more. Right? It come like, you know, and this is just personal experience. Because we kind of bad mind for one another in this place, eh? That you see your so-called friend, because I don't know how people just look at friendship these days. Because if you're jealous of somebody, I don't think that is a friendship. But in any case, you driving your Tida, your friend walking. You know your friend walking all the time, your friend saving the money. Right? You don't know what your friend doing after work, hustling, doing side jobs, whatever, to get by. You hire your car, you go in your way. Oops, one day you see a friend buy a Range Rover. You know you're jealous of your friend? You're vexed with your friend? You don't feel your friend should have that? You feel that too good for your friend? That is how we stop. And it's the same thing with this Tobago issue. They have a set of people in Tobago, they're benefiting. But the majority of people suffering. Then we call a spade a spade. And you know what they're going to tell you? They're happy that they're benefiting, so you should continue to suffer. You should continue to watch other people prosper and rise and be successful. And you must just accept crumbs. You must just accept dregs. You must accept victimization. You must accept watching corruption take place, and you can't open your mouth because you have to keep your work. That is what they're telling we.
The culture has been one that promotes, condones, and basically allows victimization.
Yes.
Across the board.
I want people to talk the things. Today's Talk the Things Tuesday. I'm not lying. I am not telling a lie because I have been a victim of that myself. I have people telling me that they can't even comment on certain people posts on Facebook because people watching their Facebook. And I'm like, when did we get to this point? When did we get to the point where we could no longer just honestly use our voices? We are all adults here. You're entitled to your opinion the same way how you could be something till you're dead. Somebody else could be something for the rest of their life.
Correct.
Political parties is like choosing what chicken to buy. Some people will never eat KFC. Some people switch between KFC and Royal Castle. And some people like churches. But you don't hear KFC people cussing Royal Castle people and Royal Castle people cussing churches people. Let people have things. Let people live. Let people choose.
You know, it's interesting that you use that illustration, Tashia.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Tobago, we, in addition to the victimization and so on, I have noticed that there is some sort of shunning of competition. Everything, I wrote a post on Facebook a couple days ago that stated that Tobago is being run and the affairs of Tobago are being run like a badly programmed socialist state. So they've taken all the negatives of socialism. They've monopolized many things. 70% if I'm not mistaken, of the population is employed directly or indirectly in some shape or form by the Tobago House of Assembly.
Correct.
That PNM-led Tobago House of Assembly, that was 12-0 in 2013.
Yes.
Right?
Let us not return to those dark days.
Right? We don't want to go back to that when there was absolutely no voice in opposition and absolutely no voice of reason.
And no accountability.
That's right. So they ran wild. They ran amok.
Yes.
Basically, is what you're trying to say to me.
You know, yeah, and you're correct, Sean. We have gone from a place in Tobago where we were largely independent because those who were working with the assembly had security of tenure.
Correct.
And everybody else was working in different industries, whether it be the tourism industry, whether it be agriculture. Tobago, the only thing we lacked was investment in our development. Because the assembly budget back in the days of Hotroy Charles was something like $300 million. That is why Mr. Charles had to take the then UNC government to court to get this dispute resolution commission minimum allowance, this minimum range for this budgetary allocation for Tobago, because he recognized back then that our growth was being stagnated by these people. You know, I just got a text. Hey, Mr. Rowley has never forgiven Tobagonians for not voting for him when he ran for elections with NJANK. Well, I wasn't wrong at them times, but if that is the history, talk the things. If that is the history, talk the things. Today's Talk the Things Tuesday. Right? I want the older folks to weigh in on this. Right? Because they were around when things were happening.
I'm looking at as you're saying that, I'm looking at the comments from on the YouTube page for the station.
Right.
And there's a gentleman who I call a troll.
Right.
Or perhaps somebody who is, very fanatic about his political
affiliations, yes.
Affiliations and so on.
Right.
Right? He's saying a vote for the PDP is a vote for UNC. Now, I just want to address one thing. Yesterday, I saw a particular post from a gentleman that included yourself and Mr. Duke as being part of the UNC lineup of candidates for the general election 2020, August the 10th. Now, I don't know if it is people are not discerning or if it is they just don't use common sense at times. If you go to the official UNC page, you will see their candidates lineup. If you go to all of the media houses and the output that they have produced in the past few days, since the election bell has rung and since the election date was called, the official lineup is there, and at no point or in none of those publications it says Tashia Grace Burris or Watson Duke, UNC, Tobago, East and West. I've never seen it.
You know, is the sad thing? The sad thing about that is the fact that they'll go to great lengths to put mischief out there. I am and will never be a member of the UNC. Simple as that.
Well,
I am a member of the Progressive Democratic.
Where's your party membership for the UNC?
Well, I don't know. I waiting for the party card because I didn't sign up no form, right? And that is not something to. If that is your party, that is your party. Jump up in your party, but. As I said, people, and again, political parties, as their affiliation is not even cast in concrete. You could eat KFC one day, you could eat Royal Castle the next day, you could eat Churches a third day, and then one day you could decide you don't want no chicken at all. Right? But
good Tobago flying fish.
Yeah, you know, the thing about it is that I know this is silly season, and that to me is as silly as it gets. Because you know those people who put out that kind of content, what I want to say to, let's just say, for example, the UNC win 25 seats. So what do you think will happen? You think they really need Tobago 2 seats? They win the government already. So all this talk about PDP aligning with the UNC, if the UNC wins the election outright and they don't need anybody to take them across the finish line, what do you think happens? Yeah? So don't you think the better thing at that point in time is to have Tobago's 2 seats independent so we can negotiate with the UNC for what Tobago needs? Right? And not from being in an opposition standpoint, but understanding, because this is the understanding here. The understanding has to be that this is a discussion between Trinidad and Tobago. We have to bring the persons that need to come to the table together, which is the Parliament and the Tobago House of Assembly. And, I mean, for the next couple of months, it will be those people who are there now. The election is in August, and that should be the first thing on the agenda. And I would hope that the PNM-led THA would seek to have the best possible outcome if they are called to a meeting of the minds. Because this is Tobago people's business. This is how we are settling this autonomy issue. This requires dialogue. This requires an atmosphere of good faith. This requires an environment where people really understand what they bring to both sides of the equation. I mean, this idea that people want to perpetuate that Tobago is just 2 seats and we just 60,000 people and we small and we are burdened to Trinidad. By virtue of the fact of Tobago's geographic location, we are responsible for a big chunk of our economic trade zone. That's right. Tobago doesn't bring nothing to the table. Tobago brings its 100 and something square miles halfway between itself and Grenada. And all the natural resources that exist in that area to the table. That's what Tobago brings. Tobago people have to understand what we have. If so-called first world countries could have fought bitterly over us, why who live here don't understand how valuable here is? Right?
Clearly they are seeing something that we are not, or we are refusing to see.
Tobagonians, people will kill to come and live here. People will kill to come and live here. Why are we behaving like if we have nothing to bring? And even if we didn't have all those maritime resources, Tobago has a bluestone quarry.
That's right.
Tobago has some of the best bathing beaches in the Caribbean. Tobago has some of the best agricultural land in the Caribbean. And Tobago has some of the brightest minds in the world. And you're telling me that Tobago people don't bring nothing to the table? We bring plenty to the table, so respect us for that. Negotiate with us on a level, on an equal playing field. That is what equality of status means. 2 equals 39. Because if Tobago was an independent country, Trinidad couldn't talk to us. Trinidad couldn't talk to us. If we get the kind of development that is required to jumpstart this economy and jumpstart our development, Trinidad can't talk to us. Tobago could be first world all on its own. Tobago people, I want you to think hard. Nothing is beyond us. But we have a bunch of people trying to convince us that all we deserve is a handout every September. Tobago is a CPEP worker? Tobago looking for 10 days? No. Tobago deserves its governance structures. We deserve for our chief secretary to be respected. Imagine in this COVID, they put together a recovery team, right? And not one person, and I'm talking about the national recovery team here.
Consisting of their friends?
And not one person from the Tobago House of Assembly. Not the chief secretary, not the secretary for finance, not nobody. So Tobago doesn't deserve representation at the highest level of governance in this country. I want you to talk the things. This is Talking the Things Tuesdays. Let me talk the things. When I look at that, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart.
It just gives you a very clear indication and a little bit of insight as to what our Prime Minister thinks of Tobago.
Our Prime Minister and the larger and you know, there's a larger population out there who shares his view, and not just Trinidadians, but people who live right here share the same view. Tobago don't deserve nothing good. So let me just take what they could give we and hush we mouth.
But we must demand better for ourselves.
And that is the thing. I want people to start to change. You need to change your mindset. We need to understand that, you know, we can't depend on somebody else to fix our business. We have a we have a bluestone quarry. All you know what that means?
With some of the best grade in material.
I don't even think the average person understands what that means. A bluestone quarry is probably equivalent to the Pitch Lake in Trinidad.
That's right.
In terms of level of importance, in terms of resource importance. But you know, you know, the Bible talks about casting pearls to swine. You know, when you really don't know what you don't know what you have, you accept anything. You accept anything, and anybody could convince you that that is what you are worth. If you don't know, if you don't place a value on yourself, anybody could walk into your life and say, you deserve just what I given you and nothing more. Right? For how long is Tobago going to wait on process to come out on our side? That process started 44 years ago. 44 years ago. So I'm sorry, I'm not accepting the excuse about process. Because when they want to get things done, they do.
Oh, yeah.
When they wanted to decriminalize marijuana, it took
quickly.
What? 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
Just about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Right? But Tobago business can't fix because we have to go through a quote-unquote process. I want all you to talk the things. But don't just talk the things on Facebook or on my live. Talk the things with your family. Talk the things with your friends. Because this is where the re-education starts. Because a lot of people jumping up in politics, in the fame and the glory of politics, but they don't know the history. They're unaware of the struggle. They're unaware of the steps we had to take to get where we are today. And because of that, they are misinformed. Because of that, they don't have all the information. And that is why it is important, especially in this time, right? Because there's going to be a bunch of first-time voters in this 2020 general election who have not experienced anything but a PNM THA. All they know is about PNM style governance. And they are unaware of what took place prior to 2001. Right? And it's important that those of us who were around in that time, my age and above, to educate our young people. Talk the truth. Talk the things. Let them know the struggles. Let them know what Mr. Robinson and Dr. Murray went through. Let them know about 1990 when they tried to kill our Prime Minister, our Tobagonian Prime Minister. Talk the things. Let them know about 1996 when we got that amended THA Act. Let them know about October 2000 when that dispute resolution commission report was laid in Parliament. And our very own Dr. Rowley, who is now our Prime Minister, was very vocal about it. Pull the Hansard, the records are there. His words are there in black and white. Talk the things. Tell them what Ho-Choi Charles had to go through to fight to get that. Talk the things. Talk about the coalition mashing up. That UNC-NAR coalition that mash up. When they fired our 2 Tobago senators. Talk the things. Talk about 2001 to 2021. And not one Auditor General's report could say the THA did well. Talk the things. Talk about the dark ages of 2013 to 2017. We only know about Manta Lodge and Sanctuary. What other projects where money disappear? Cost overruns. No accountability. Talk the things.
But they want to know where we getting.
But they want to know where we gain money from. We train barbecue and bake sale.
You ever seen?
We doing car wash.
Have you ever seen the Tobago
we have donation sheets.
You ever see Chamfaka Joe doing our barbecue?
I don't even want to call Sean, me not call people name because it's easy for people to say, oh, you know, they call it. Me I not call nobody name. They're asking me where we get the money from. I went and wash car. I went and asked people, hey, you're going up for Parliament. Give me a little something now. And you know what? At least you could see where the money going. You could see where the money going. It's not going for big trucks. It's not going for media ads. It's not going for banners and flags and big billboard and all them things. You've seen it on roof. It's rainy season. I got a message at 4:30 this morning. Somebody roof leaking. They want me to come and check it out. And I don't have a problem going and do that. And I don't have a problem spending money, campaign money on that. Because that is performance. The best way I could convince you to support me is to show you what I will do when I get there. Paying money to give you a pamphlet and paying money to put my face on a billboard and paying money to sit down and talk. All of that is part of the thing. But that does not show you what I will and can do. I will pay money to fix people's roof. And as fast as we pay money, we could ask for 2 sheets extra. We could ask for a little discount. And a businessman might say, hey, what I could sponsor 2 bags of cement. And somebody else could say, I could send $500. That might help pay for a pallet of bricks. We could help each other. That is what we want to show. We have to bring back that Tobago of talk the things. Talk the things. Tobago have to fix itself. We have to fix ourselves because nobody not fixing we. That Tobago love is like Tobago hate. Because they are afraid of us. They are afraid of what we can become the day we recognize our true potential. And that's just it. The person who oppresses you does so because they are afraid of you. And they are afraid of us. And because they're afraid of us, it's easy to keep us shackled. It's easy to keep us oppressed. It's easy to convince us that we are worth nothing. And when they get you to accept that you are worth nothing, they place a value on you. They are afraid of us. So Tobago people, know your power. Your power don't just rest on your index finger. You have more power than that. I have seen communities come together over the last few weeks. And as simple as you might look at people changing a roof, the amount of things that go into that. What can just taking place on the roof on a manna to eat? Sun hot. We had to cook food. We had to organize transport. We had to get tools. We had to get electricity. In some places we don't have electricity. Generator had to come. And people on people roof from 6 o'clock in the morning until the work done. And them and gain 1 black cent. But you know what puts them there? You know what puts me here is because I love my people. I love my people. I'm not ashamed to say my children haven't seen me for weeks because I'm out campaigning, because I'm trying to convince Tobago people that they deserve better and I can perform for them. And regardless of what the outcome of this election is, regardless, I don't make peace with it. I make peace with it. If I win, I'm happy. If I lose, I'm happy too. But I hope that even in a defeat, there is victory for Tobago people. You know why I hope that there is victory for Tobago people? Because I hope that all you wake up and all you understand what all you deserve, so that whoever you put there, all you could hold them to account. Don't let your representatives get away with disappearing from you after election season is over. Call their office, look there they. Ring down the phone, look them there. Write your letters. Participate. Any town hall they have, any meeting they have in the community, show up. Let your voice be heard. Tell them you're not happy. And after you tell them you're not happy, follow up. Put them to work. You are their employers. Don't get it twisted. You elect them and then they behave like if they are better than you. They're driving past you with their windows screw up. All of a sudden you can't get them on the phone again, but in the election day they're digging you out your house to go and vote for them, eh? Well, that same energy they have for the election, tell them I expect this same energy for the next 5 years. Find them. Don't let them use no excuse and say, oh, they're in Trinidad and they're up and up with whatever job they have down here. Their job, the thing they were hired to do was represent the people of Tobago. That job comes first. No cabinet position comes in front of that. Your MP duties come first. That is the job. Hold them to account. That is what we have to do. No more excuses. We're making too many excuses and too much time passing and the world is passing us by and Tobago is just being left behind. Tobago people, mind your business. Talk the things. Talk the things. I don't have a spirit of fear in me. The Lord buried a spirit of courage in me. The Lord buried a spirit of fight in me. The Lord buried a spirit of never giving up in me. And I want the same thing for my Tobago people. I pray every night that Tobago people just wake up. All you wake up. Just understand what you have. Because what we have is what other people want. Certain interests in Trinidad would only be too happy to get that quarry we have for next to nothing. And Tobagonians will never find out the value of that natural resource. We will never know the millions of dollars that we're sitting on with just the rock that we're digging out there. Any of that money coming to Tobago? Any of that development? We're not seeing any of that money being used to develop Tobago in a real way. But somebody else taking fame and making money off our head, and somehow all of we should be happy with that.
A select few are benefiting.
Right.
As per usual.
We have our own little clique existing at the top of the ladder here. You know? They want to control all of the income that comes in, and them alone and who they like must benefit, and the rest of us need to suffer to ensure that they stay there. You know, and if that's the case and that is your view, then fine, that is your view. But the reality is that people are suffering. People not happy. People suffering for representation, people suffering for delivery of services, people are suffering for basic needs, people are suffering. There's this expectation that politicians will partake in certain things. There is that expectation. But at the same time, oh gosh, serve the people. Serve the people. I don't want to sound too much like Kamala, but I mean, the thing is not serve the people simply. Do your job. Do the job that you were elected to do. Right? All Tobagonians are equal, but some are more equal than others. Correct?
Very
correct.
True. Very, very true.
You know, we have to address the fact that we have corruption rooted so deeply in our psyche. You know, when I hear the horror stories of people saying, you know, their contracts have not been renewed because they're outspoken or somebody don't like them. Since when somebody liking you is a criteria for you to keep your job? I thought it was just doing your job. And is we own people is not some aliens who land from Mars doing this to us. Is our own people. Is your neighbor, is your family, is your relative, is your nenen who married to your cousin, who is your neighbor, sister, tanty, uncle, son, doing it to you. Tobagonians are treating each other bad. All because why? We want to keep our system entrenched where only certain people could benefit and the rest of we had to suffer? We need to stop that. We need to stop that. Right? I just want to read this comment on the on the WhatsApp. This election is in perfect alignment with cosmic and global change, and Tobago people must take the opportunity this time around. Perfect comment. 2020 has been a year and a half. When God was writing the script for 2020, he just said, hey, what? Let me just pour all kind of thing in there. Because this is a movie.
It is.
We have to be thankful at the end of this year that we survived this year, you know. Really, 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 really extremely thankful.
It just tells us that this decade is going to be very,
exactly.
Very
we are poised. One of two things could happen, because we're on the edge of a precipice. We could either fall over or we can pull ourselves back and shoot straight up. Tobago does not need to wait on Trinidad to get its business fixed to fix Tobago business. I want to live in a Tobago where my daughter, who loves to play football, can attend a sports academy full time. That she's honing her talent in football and studying academics, And that academy has all the facilities that would allow her to achieve her highest potential in that sphere, and that she can get the best opportunities, whether those opportunities exist locally, regionally, or internationally. I want to live in a Tobago where I met the father of Precious, I can't remember her last name, but a beautiful voice, a young lady who has a beautiful voice. I met her father on a walkabout last night. And I would love to live in a Tobago where persons like Precious can go to a creative arts academy full time, where she's honing her talent in singing, right? And studying academics alongside. And that academy has all the systems and structures in place for her to achieve her highest potential and to get access to opportunities, whether locally, regionally, or internationally. I would love for my son, he wants to be an engineer, to be able to go to a technical vocational academy full time, where from the time he identified that he was interested in sciences and construction and mechanical engineering and electrical and these things, that he could have gone to this place and started that education earlier, and that he can get access to opportunities locally, regionally, internationally, that if he wants to build buildings in Japan, he can go on internship because we're doing exchange programs. That if it is that he wants to, build a skyscraper in Tobago, that he can be the project manager on something like that. That if they want to commission a new port facility, that he can build that. Okay, I'm seeing a call coming in, so I'm hoping that when I press answer that I can hear the person. Yeah, so continue. Yes. Oh my God. I think, okay. I do not know what I just did, but caller, whoever you are, could you just send me a message? The WhatsApp number is 734-96355. I'm having a little problem accepting calls this morning. So, and my DJ is just stepped out. So let me just take a look at some of the message. Oh my goodness, the person is sending voice notes.
Oh,
okay. Can this person please type
in text?
Sean, I think you need to help me. Just, you can't even type come and type a message to this person, yes, because I'm not, whoever the caller is, I'm having a little difficulty with calls this morning. But if you can just make some few points and you can send a text, I can read it and, we could take it from there. But yes, as I was saying, my son, he wants to be an engineer, right? And at the end of the day, at present, if he has to further his studies in that field, I have to send him to Trinidad, or I have to send him outside of Tobago. And as a mother, that is a very, very difficult decision to make. Trinidad is not exactly too safe of a place for a young black man at this time. Where we talk the things. Yeah? So we're going to take a short break and we shall be back.
Lie. What you did to me was a sin. Just like that. Just like that, you deceived me. And now, I cry because you have failed me. How dare you look for me after you betrayed me? Now, I have to walk away. I found the way to forget you.
Another one. PDP are the best. People before politics. Yeah.
Tell me why, oh why? You stay. PNM makes you cry every night. You stay. I don't know why, oh why? You stay. Oh, I think you're too loyal. You stay.
Under the PNM whip, I still hear them say, them is die hard PNM till a day. Is this the same PNM we give we hell? We make we go down on we knees and beg. Everything them ask for Tobago, we give them PNM, THA and central government. But yet still, we can't catch ourselves. Sea bridge, air bridge, agriculture debt. Taxpayers wanna know where 40 billion went. How much gone in the pocket of PNM friends? Cause all we see, the chief with a new BM. Few box Jane and a little pavement.
Tell me why, oh why? Do you ride, do you stick by the side? BNM makes you cry every night. People, I see the pain in your eyes and don't know why. Oh, why? You stay. Oh. You stay. Tell me why you. I think you're too loyal. I think you do too much. BNM does nothing for you, girl. They're not real. That ain't the way love's supposed to be. PNM is not the one for you. What's in you, PDP will show you.
PDP are the best. God never get to beg more than we can take. Great exodus from this PNM wilderness. What's the night with the hammer? Savior, the mandate from the people will deliver. Paging Webster, paging Shamfa. This is the end of your tenure.
Tell me why, oh why? PNM makes you cry every night. You stay. I don't know why, oh why? You stay. I think you're too loyal.
Just now wait. PDP, within a few years, look how much we cover. PNM 63, yet Tobago suffer. Tobago age is just a number. Tobago vote them out of power. PDP swim the whole ocean fire. Just to make a statement that you deserve better.
I found the way to forget you.
Tobago don't cry no more. PDP will take care of you. Tobago don't cry no more. PDP will take care of you. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's your boy P5. Real recognize real. In the street 919. Anything real, listen to the street. Real is real. Every time.
When it comes to the real radio, we deal with the real issues, real details, real news. That's why Street 919 is the realest station.
This radio station is the real station in Tobago.
Whoa, what love is the anthem?
Let's see your hand them. Let's see your hand them.
I have love for the whole wide world. With you at the center, you are the master key. If love is by my side, then who can deny me? I keep climbing higher.
We going down the road, hands in the air. People everywhere, love and unity is there. It's that time of year where we don't care. It don't matter where you're from, put your flag in the air. And represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love. And represent. Just one love, just one love, just one love, just one love.
My people, do you listen? Tell me, do you hear? What is your position for the people? Do you care? Yeah. Will you tell me that you represent? I really want to see some evidence. In freedom, this is evidence. So bring it from your soul.
What love is the anthem? What love is the anthem?
waters get really, really, really hot, but when I hear this song playing in the background, it puts me in a whole different mood, because I just have the word represent in my mind. Every time I go out, this is what is playing in my mind. I'm out here to represent. Everything that I do is a representation. It's a representation of myself. It's a representation of my upbringing, of the people that raised me, of the home, the environment that I grew up in, the family system that I come from. I am a representation of my school, Scarborough RC School, Bishop's High School. I am a representation of my communities that I grew up in. I was born in Canaan. I grew up in Scarborough. I grew up in Susulands. I lived in Lowlands. I live in Signal Hill. I live in town now again. I am a representation of Tobago everywhere that I go. When I go to Trinidad, when I travel, I am a representation of my island. And Tobago people, it's not just politicians represent, you are a representation of this place. You are a representation of your experiences. You are a representation of your workplace, the people that you congregate around, your family. You're a representation of your friends. You're a representation of your religion, whatever you believe in. So that we have to understand that there is a bigger picture here. There is a bigger picture that we are missing. Because what you want for you, what the things that you want for yourself, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. Anybody that you choose to represent, you should be a representation of your goals, dreams, aspirations. It is a serious matter. It's not just reading your finger for somebody who look good or they talk good or that person, you must be assured, this person holds the values that I hold dear. They ascribe to that philosophy. This person knows where I come from. They know what I stand for, and they can represent me. Because the thing about government, the thing about that forum, that sphere, is that 60,000 of us Tobagonians cannot stand in parliament. 1.4 million people in Trinidad cannot stand in parliament. That is why we have representatives. They are your voice when you in places where you cannot stand. And if you are outspoken, if you are confident in yourself, if you are assured of your purpose, are you going to send somebody who doesn't have those qualities and who's willing to accept anything? Are you going to send that person to represent you? That's what you have a choice to make. For those of you who have no voice, for those of you who are unseen, for those of you who are glossed over, for those of you who feel forgotten by society, the parliament, the election process allows you the opportunity for your voice to be heard. And this is where you get to choose the best person to represent your interest. You get to choose the best person who can speak on your behalf. You get to choose the best person who is going to stand in a forum and advocate for you, who is going to fight for you, who's going to paint a picture of your situation, to try and make it better, to try to make the people who are in power to make it better, make it better. Why should you elect people who talk down to you? Why should you elect people when you tell them that you are suffering, that they stand in the forums and say, nah, yeah, suffering? Why should you elect people who have a level of arrogance, who are not humble? Why should you elect people like that to represent you? Representation is no laughing matter. Representation is Whatever the outcome of the election, if I am victorious, trust me, I'm not going down there to play. Because for far too long, Tobago's voice, they take Tobago people for fool. They take Tobago people as doormat. They can walk all over us. They could give us what they feel we deserve. And we just had to take that. No, I ain't come down here to play with none of you. I come to get what Tobago people deserve. And when I get what Tobago people deserve, then I'm going to come back to Tobago and help us build Tobago together. That's the plan. I have to go down there first, organize my business down there. Then I'm working hard here because we have plenty work to do. Plenty work is required to build the kind of Tobago that we deserve, that our children deserve, that our generations deserve. They must look back. History must show in this time that we did the work that was necessary to set them on good footing. That we built a foundation for them that could stand the test of time. History must show that that is what this generation did. And if we have to be a generation of disruptors to achieve that, then so be it. If we have to rock the boat to do that, then so be it. If we have to mash corn, if we have to bruise egos, if we have to do that, then let's do it. Because for far too long, Tobago's business has been left on the back burner. Trinidad fixing their business, you know. Sod turning for indoor facility, ribbon cutting for hospital, interchanges being built. Before 2010, when Mrs. Passad Bissessa went in, I used to be in Shoguanas fairly regularly, and then that interchange, I watched that interchange get built. And now I can't even recognize everything past Grand Bazaar. The kind of development that took place in the last 10 years. What happened in Tobago? What happened in Tobago? Yeah, we got a police station in Roxborough. Where the fire station that's supposed to be in Blackrock. What happened to that? No fire station in Blackrock again? Tell us why. Right? What do we have to show? What does Tobago have to show for all this money and all these years? What do we have to show? What do we have to look at and say we are proud? That Shore Park cultural complex, that facility, $1 billion plus and we can't even use it. We can't even use it. Talk the things. We pass it every day. Going to the gas station is like we don't even see it anymore because we can't even use it. We have no benefit of it anymore. $1 billion plus to build it. And our cultural groups on the island can't even put on a show there. Talk the things. Goat bite we? Well, then we had to go and shoot that goat and make curry with it because this ain't making sense. This is not making any sense. I think a call is coming through. Let me see if I can get this person. Hello, good morning. Hello? Okay. The thing is... Caller, I am not hearing you, sadly. I am so sorry. I am not hearing you. I don't know what is wrong with the call feature this morning. I would just have to get them to check that out. But the thing about it is, as I was saying, we see so much development taking place in Trinidad. What is happening in Tobago? Simple equipment at the hospital goes down for months. We can't get x-rays, we can't get blood test results, we can't get MRI done. The air condition on the maternity ward not working. In this day and age, 2020, And brand new hospitals are being commissioned down the road. But we don't have no AC on the maternity ward. That's where we're at. That is where we are at. Let me talk the things. Tobagonians, are we happy with that? Are we content with that? Do we think that is what we deserve? That our pregnant mothers have to lie in the heat? I have 2 children. I know what it is to be pregnant and hot. That is reprehensible. And it's not good enough. It is not good enough. And we have been accepting too many excuses for far too long for people who just not doing their jobs. Look at the state of the roads. Tobago should have some of the best roads in the country. Talk the things. You are in your communities. You see it every single day. Our sidewalks are in a mess. Grass growing all over the place. Garbage can't be collected in certain places on time. Those are the things that are happening in this Tobago. We still have people not even having indoor plumbing or access to electricity. And people happy about that? How is it that we can be happy about that? How could we look at each other suffering and some people are happy to continue for you to suffer because their party is in power and they believe their party should stay in power? They know you're suffering, but their party more important than you. Their party more important than Tobago. Their party more important than your business. Their party more important than you enjoying a better way of life. Their party is more important to them than you getting a stable job and having your contract renewed and not having a month-to-month contract or a 6-month contract. People talking as if, 1 year and 2 year contracts would be a thing of the past. They were a thing of the past because it never existed before you guys. People used to get 3 year contracts. All you bring in this 1 year and 2 year and 6 month and month-to-month contract is all you do that. Talk the things. Talk the things. Tell the truth. Right? Tell the truth. It is overwhelming sometimes when I think about the fact that Tobago has had an abundance of resources at its disposal, right? And yet, we have very little to show for it. We have people who are barely getting by. You know, I ask people in my walkabouts, how you going, how you doing? Our life. And sometimes that's the only thing we really have, and we have plenty to be thankful for, even in that statement that yes, we do have life. Right? Yes, we do have life. And for those of us who are alive in this time, for those of us who have the opportunity to still be breathing and operating and living, don't we deserve the opportunity to thrive? Don't we deserve the opportunity to have a better quality of life? Don't we have an opportunity to access all of the good things that life has to offer? Don't we deserve that? I believe that I deserve that. And I want to believe that people out there believe that they deserve that. And I want to believe that Tobago people especially believe that they deserve the best. So what value do you place on yourself, Tobago people? When persons come to you asking for your vote or asking for whatever they ask for. Ask them, what value do you place on my life? What does me supporting you mean for me? Does it mean that you're going to advocate for better roads? Is it that you're going to put systems in place that I can participate in the democratic process outside of the election? Are you going to inform me of the bills that are coming before Parliament? And are you going to solicit my opinion before you open your mouth and say you represent my interests? Because you know what I want and you know what I don't want. Are you going to advocate for a better educational system, especially in Tobago, in the areas where we are falling behind? Are you going to advocate for better pay for our teachers and our frontline workers and our essential personnel? Are you going to put systems in place for income protections for middle income and low income persons so that if something like COVID happens again, whatever disaster it is, that people can access a wage still while the country is rebuilding itself or while the industry is rebuilding itself? Are you going to advocate for pension reform so that older persons don't have to go through the hassle of having to send their documents to Trinidad to get them organized for them to receive their just due when their time to retire is upon them, that they can seamlessly transition from working life into retired life without distress? Are you going to ensure that we have a world-class healthcare system? And are you going to hold our elected officials accountable? Because not just because there is your partners in your party mean that you turn a blind eye to what they do. You can't expect that others should account for what they have and they get away with not accounting for taxpayers' funds. Because that is what THA and government money is. Taxpayers' funds. PDP funds is not taxpayers' funds. PDP funds, PDP is a party, they have an executive, they have a leadership, and they can decide what to do with whatever funds they receive. And if they decide that the funds they receive is going to fix roof, that is what it's going to do. But taxpayers' funds is what runs the THA and the government. Are you going to tell those in the THA, account for my monies? Because I pay tax. I pay taxes. Are we going to call a spade a spade? Are we going to talk the things? Ask them where the money gone. Ask them how come we haven't heard anything about the missing monies that went to the quote-unquote wrong Virgin account. Ask them if D'Angelo sent back the money for the appearance he never made at Jazz. Ask them about that. Talk the things. And any other project that you have question marks over, ask them because they are accountable to you. Don't absolve yourself from the responsibility of holding these people accountable. They want your vote, let them ask the questions. Let them answer. We have a responsibility. When I hear people say, oh, all politicians is the same and nothing can change, it could only change if you demand change. Don't leave it up to them to decide what you get. Make them accountable. Force them to answer the questions. Put them on the spot. If they have nothing to hide, they will simply answer you. Because again, that is not their money, it's yours. Understand your greater responsibility as part of representation. You put them there, hold them to account. You put us there, hold us to account. Hold me to account. Hold everybody to account. Because you deserve nothing less than people who will give you the best. You deserve nothing less than people who have your best interests at heart. You deserve nothing less. And I need you to believe in that. I need you to believe that you deserve the best that life has to offer. We have a long day ahead of us. And for those of you who are heading out to work at this time, I pray that you are safe on the roads. For those of you who are staying home with your families, I hope you have a great day. For those of you who are getting ready to start your day, I pray that you have all the blessings of God showered on you in this time, and that you are successful in everything that you try to do. Remember, I said today, remember that today's Talk the Things Tuesday. Don't let the conversation stop when the show is over. We have plenty things to talk, so let's have the conversations. But after the talking is finished, the action has to back it up. You have to back it up, what you say, with action. And that is what is important here. That you will be asked to make a choice very, 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 very soon. And you have to ensure that the choice that you make is the best choice for yourself and for your family. Scrutinize the people who are sending in their applications to you. Scrutinize them. Question everything. Because at the end of the day, when you make that choice, it has to be a choice that you and we all can live with. It has to be the best possible choice for yourself and for your children and for the island of Tobago. Mr. Watson Duke, presenting himself as the choice in Tobago East. I, Tasha Grace Boris, am presenting myself as the choice in Tobago West. Do your homework. Have your conversations. Think about what you deserve. And when we present ourselves to you, among others, scrutinize us. Test us. And when the day comes to make that choice, make the choice that you deem to be the best choice in the interests of yourself, your family, and the island of Tobago. It is my hope that whatever the outcome of that choice is, that it's the best possible outcome for the people of Tobago. And the work does not stop when election day is over. The work has now begun. Because for me, I have a renewed sense of hope in my people. I have a renewed sense of hope for a brighter future. I have met people who are committed to building their communities, one person at a time. And that is work that I have signed on to do, to continue to do, long after the votes are tallied. I love my people. And I would always love my people. And I would always love what is best for my people. And anything that I can do to improve the lives of my people, I will do. That is my commitment to you. But we have to commit to ourselves. I can't do this alone. Mr. Duke can't do it alone. The party can't do it alone. We have to do it together. We have to build our communities. We have to build our island. Let us truly understand what we have, and let us stop selling ourselves short. We know we deserve far more than we've been getting. Let us be honest with ourselves. Let's talk the things. And for those of you who are satisfied, You're welcome to be satisfied, but don't begrudge anybody who wants better for themselves. Don't hate on anybody who values themselves higher than you value yourself. Don't hate on anybody who makes the attempt to reach the stars, and even if they fail and fall 100 times, they get up 101 times. Don't be vexed with that person. Because if they don't get through, somebody else will get through. If they don't finish the race, somebody else would finish the race, and we will all benefit as a result. We would all be better off as a result. We have had persons over the years who have made countless sacrifices. Countless sacrifices to get us where we are at. And we will be doing ourselves a disservice if we just give up. If we give up now. They say the night is darkest before the dawn. And the dawn is coming. The sun will shine again. That is the hope that I hold on to. That is the hope that gets me out of bed every day, doing the thing that I think I've been purposed to do in this time on earth. And so, I've come to the end of my 2 hours on radio this morning. Thank you very much for those of you who tuned in, those of you who tuned into my live. I think it got cut off after a while. But those of you who tuned in online and also on YouTube, as well as those of you who sent messages. Good morning, Miss Boris. You're so right. I love your style. Continue to educate our people. Well done. Thank you very much. This is why I do what I do. I know change is not going to be easy, and I know some people have given up on the idea of change. But I believe that as long as we have life, as long as we have breath in our bodies, there is the opportunity to do and to be better. And nobody is going to change my mind from that. And so, to the rest of you who are heading out today, I want you guys to be safe on the roads, safe wherever you're going off to. We will be in Crown Point again this afternoon, Crown Point and environs, doing our walkabouts. I would be happy to meet with you and engage with you and find out what are your concerns, what are your suggestions. Let's have a conversation. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being on the road this afternoon. I have a couple persons to visit today. I hope that the weather is kind to us today, but I would be back tomorrow morning. My name is Tasha Grace Boris, PDP candidate for Tobago West. Thank you for Mr. Duke. He tuned in a little bit, sent some nice encouraging words to me this morning. Mr. Duke will be joining us from next week, hopefully. So we would continue to educate, we will continue to advocate, and we will continue to create a platform where persons can express themselves. Because we can't get anywhere, we can't go anywhere if we ignore those of us in society who have a voice and we just don't listen to them. Yeah? So I hope everybody has a great day. This is Tasha Boris signing off. DJ Mega Vibes is now coming to take over to give you some good music to start your day right. Have a good one, everyone.
PNM, you know it was a lie. What you did to me was a sin. Just like that, you deceived me. And now, I cry. Because you have failed me. How dare you look for me after you betrayed me? Now, I have to walk away. I found the way to forget you.
Another one. PDP, you're the best. Before politics.
Busque la forma de olvidar.
Yeah. Tell me why, oh why you stay. PNM makes you cry every night. You stay. I don't know why, oh why you stay. Oh, I think you're too loyal. You stay.
Under the PNM whip, I still hear them say, them is die hard PNM till a day. Is this the same PNM we give we hell? We make we go down on we knees and beg. Everything them ask for Tobago, we give them PNM, THA and central government. But yet still, we can't catch ourselves. Sea bridge, air bridge, agriculture debt. Taxpayers wanna know where 40 billion went. How much gone in the pocket of PNM friends? Cause all we see, the chief with a new BM. Few bucks, Jane and a little pavement.
Tell me why, oh why do you ride? Do you stick by the side? BNM makes you cry every night. People I see the pain. No, why? Let me see your hand them. 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 Let me see your hand them.
PDP will take care of you. Yeah.
This is a public service announcement. Get your fire extinguishers. Your radio is about to blaze. 24/7, 365 days a year.
We coming down, truck passing through Chinatown. Glass in my hand, sipping me rum, and I'm not running from the sun. Rum in my veins and in my face. I hope I mightn't be out of place. I'm taking a wine to watch no face. I know I would have walked in the right place. Digest.
Bored at work? Is the boss stressing you out? Well, snap out of it.
Ready now.
Stay locked on to the street.
This is the love how we pump and design out. We can't wish we can body well align out. No time we don't waste when we wind up. When your man wants to find out.
Stay locked on to the street. Other stations claim they are the people's station and they don't even play the people's music.
You may not be a movie star.
Street 91.9 FM Tobago, ladies, and only the best.
A big fast car, but I love